So you want to do a retreat. I understand. I got really excited about doing my first retreats, and I've worked with a whole bunch of clients that want to do retreats as well. And I've learned a thing or two in the process that I think are going to really help for you to save money and also have a much better outcome. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to set up a retreat business in a way that lowers your risk and increases the odds of your success. The problem that I see, the biggest problem that gets people into trouble when they start a retreat business is they get themselves into these exotic, fancy locations that are expensive, and then ultimately their events are not very profitable. And also another problem is filling up the retreats and the fear that comes along with worrying, what if nobody comes to my retreat? What if I can't get anybody to sign up? So my solution to this is what I call small events, big back end. So there are 5 keys to my solution that I'm going to share with you throughout this video. The first key is all about your business model. What I'm looking for is a way to get people into your world with a very awesome initial first experience, and then for them to stay in your world in your big back end. There are really 2 types of retreats. The front end retreats are the breakthrough retreats. This is where you deliver a consistent, reliable breakthrough experience. And then number 2, there is another kind of retreat that you provide where you get to have more fun and be more creative and change it every single time. But what you're doing is these are the back end retreats that you sell as part of a long-term or ongoing program that you sell and enroll at your introductory retreat. There's the front end retreat, or the introductory foundational, what I call the breakthrough experience. And then there's the big back end, which is once they've enrolled into a longer program, that's where you can go to these more exotic locations. In order to fill that event and to really help that to become what it needs to be in order to help enroll people into the big back end, is there has to be what I call a juicy outcome from this experience. Now, I am advocating that you have something else to enroll people into, but I'm not advocating that the whole purpose of this first retreat be to enroll people into the back end. No, this retreat needs to be a standalone. It needs to have a problem and a solution and an outcome that it provides all by itself. And when you do that with integrity, when you solve that problem, then people are inspired, or at least a certain percentage of them, to go ahead and enroll into your next step. Now, number 4 addresses how do you fill your event? So you fill your event not by promoting the event itself. What I'm saying, number 4, is instead of promoting your retreat, promote your thought leadership and your content, build up your list, gather your people, communicate with them regularly, i.e. through email marketing, and what you're promoting is actually some sort of sales conversation with you. Now, the 5th strategy, which again, sometimes surprises people, is to, instead of having all your ducks in a row, just figure out what that retreat promise is, set a date, set a location, not even necessarily a venue, just a city or an area, and go ahead and sell it first and figure it out later. Now, the reason this makes people uncomfortable is because a lot of people want to have everything figured out before they offer it. But the problem with that strategy is that a lot of times you have to pay money to put down on a venue and be committed to that retreat. The problem with that is that when we get on the phone to make the sale, right, and to do that strategy session, to do that meaningful conversation with people, and we are stressing about money, what ends up happening is that we can send out that vibe of desperation. And what I found is that that vibe of desperation is not conducive to sales. So what I advocate you doing instead is set a date, and then stick to it, set a location, and say venue TBD. And then instead of focusing all your marketing strategies on the exotic venue and all the amenities of the place that you're going to host it, focus on the juicy outcome so that what they're buying is that juicy outcome instead of the logistics. And then here's the last little bonus tip. no canceling. No matter what size it is, you commit to that retreat. Don't overcommit to it. Don't overspend on it. And then get on the phone with people, share the juicy outcome, and go ahead and deliver an incredible experience, and then invite people to enroll in the big back end. So the next thing you've got to do, now that I've given you the basic overview of a retreats business model, check out my Retreats to Riches roadmap at retreatstorichesroadmap.com. This gives you the whole architecture, including the logistical details of how to create your first retreat or how to up-level your existing retreats.